Yeah. I remember when she's a little baby. Time flies. It fly if you ain't having fun. But you want to have fun because it makes the flight better. If it's flying and it ain't and it ain't it's flying and it's lying, then you ain't having no fun. What the Lions gonna do this year? Okay, well, 11-5 and win the NFC. Okay, and
Hey, 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 here's the wake up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth be told. The wake up call.
all right, where y'all at? I gotta stand from now on. Yeah, wave your hand. Just a message back.
It's the wake up call.
I said stand up. Y'all stand up.
With Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Keep your legs moving.
Wake up, wake up, let the truth be told. The wake up call. Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up.
I really get the exercise in the morning, and this is the wake up call on the corner of Grand River in Wyoming. By now, you ought to know we do it every Saturday from 8 to 10. Biscuits, grits, and salmon croquettes, and the best radio audience in the nation. Y'all make some noise. Cooking with Kelly. We got biscuits, grits, salmon croquettes. We got Velvet Force over there, Lakaya, and others make our technical team, David Week. David Strong. And welcome, Ed. It's me and you, man.
Hey, it's been a long time since it was just you and I.
Man, look, we ain't never been just me and you.
No,
man.
I'm talking about.
Said like we was a couple. You know
No,
what I mean?
man, I'm talking
You
about
and me, girl.
the 9-10 days.
I hear you, man. We used to. By the way, Emma Lou was supposed to come by last week, but she didn't make it. She's in the class of 71. She was one of my first co-hosts, but we're glad to hear. Let's go through our announcements real quick. We're going to have Sean from Detroit versus everybody. By the way, he was supposed to bring my Detroit versus Dabo. What is it? Dabo versus whatever it is.
Dabo versus everybody.
So this is our new podcast, and we're going to be doing some interviews with some of you guys. Right now, we're working on auto insurance reform. We have the highest auto insurance in the nation, and we launched a campaign. We'll talk about that. So next week, we'll be riding around in the streets getting people's opinion about the high rates. Next, this is the ticket platform, and it's Dabo. I thought it was Dabo Events. We got to pull this. But make sure we get the correct one. It's not Dabo Tickets. It's DaboEvents.com. But you get an idea. Let's pull that one next. All right, so we're going. September is Prostate Cancer Health Awareness Month, and we got a major lineup of stuff. And so all these programs related to prostate, if you come and you get your blood drawn for your PSA, you'll get a $25 gift card. So on the 2nd of September, the Mason Show will be here. It's all going to be about screening and awareness for prostate. If you have a man, let me tell you what I know. You women got to bring them in because men don't like to get this done. This is not a digital exam. You ain't got to touch your toes. You ain't got to grab your ankles. Just get a little blood and find out what's really going on. Next. So we had our annual women's conference yesterday. 150 women showed up. It was absolutely fabulous.
That's great.
This is going to be for the men on September 11th. Come out. We'll do health screenings and all the kind of stuff. We'll also do prostate at that as well. Next. So this is unique because you get a $25 gift card, but you also, and Velvet, please remind me to have them update all these flyers with the correct information. Everything now is at Dabo event, not the Netflix, but we'll figure that. But we have 3 female barbers, beautiful barbers, right? You can throw dollars at their feet, whatever, because they look that good. And September 14th and 21st, you get a free haircut, you get your prostate test, and you get a $25 gift card. So you men need to sign up, DaboEvents.com. The app is there. Pull it up now. Leverett, you need to get yourself tested. Okay, yeah. Get yours, especially since you think you got some. Start with a B. Next. Same at the community forum on September 14th. Gerald Smith, this guy right here, is a testing advocate. He back in the day when they only did PSAs, his job was to tell you, bend over, smile. And then he'd rate you on your way out. If you like that test, you can't come back soon. No. So that's going to be a town hall. And, again, Albert, please remind me to have all of these changed because we consolidated our platforms. Everything is at deboevents.com. Everything, huh? Say tickets where? On where? Huh? But where is it at? That's all I want to do. I don't just send me anything. If it's not, if you're not on the website, then it's wrong. Are you on the actual app? Okay, fine. Well, good. Then here's what y'all do from now on. Look at the flyers I send you and make sure they correspond to what you tell me. That will be a big help. All right. So that's when it is. If she says Dabo tickets, whatever it is, Dabo tickets, Dabo events. I'm not sure which it is.
We'll get you there.
Right. I thought it was Dabo events. Next. So this is in Zima. It's coming up in September. Lynn Roundtree is the Grammy Award-winning trumpeter. If you listen to smooth jazz on XM Radio, he's on there all the time. And of course, Zima's doing well. And of course, Florella Strings, those fabulously gorgeous, beautiful black women. I told them they need to start having bells. You can ring my bell. September 16th. Next. And Patrick Lamb is absolutely an unbelievable saxophonist, and he's a vocalist. He was the musical director for Sade, and a lot of that music you heard was associated with him. So that's going to be another great show, October 7th. And while we're on and when Raven gets here, she'll correct us about what is the correct website. Next. Yeah. And then, of course, the Stylistics. This is the real Stylistics. Russell Tompkins is the voice of the Stylistics. I think I told you the story. He lost his voice for a while. He had a manager. I shouldn't say Jewish manager because we're so in this black Jewish thing now. And realized that they had not incorporated or trademarked the name. And so he went and took the name, and then he assembled some folks. And there's a guy, if you go see The Stylistics, that tries to sound like Russell, but he never can stay in falsetto. But this is the real group. Y'all like the Stylistics? I love the Stylistics. Bet you by golly, wow, you make me feel brand new. People make the world go round. So anyway, people love him, and we bring him here a couple times a year. So that's November 11th. Now I am finalizing and was on the phone yesterday and getting the deal done for this summer. All you OGs are gonna like this. I got to put together a group of y'all going to train how you drop it, but it's gonna be Dougie Fresh. How about that? Dougie Fresh. See, I think he's either the first or the second or ninth, whatever that first Wednesday or second Wednesday is. That's going to be out of this world. All right, anything else I got? All right, so this is Dabo Detroit versus everybody. We got my brother here. These shirts will be ready on Tuesday. And, I don't know if I'm giving them away or selling them, produce some revenue for my biscuits, grits, and salmon croquettes.
Just take donations.
We spend donation. We spend money every week on this, but we're glad to be able to get our own shirt. How about that? Yeah, and I got another one coming, HS3 versus all you crazy people.
That's the wrong color.
No, I know that's what you first gave me. It's going to be our beige and brown. Okay. And let me just tell you, we got 2 minutes. Let me just tell you, I don't know what is in the water, but I have this thing about how we go after each other. It is absolutely absurd the way that people talk about folks, and I rarely respond, but some person was on internet under my daughter and was saying something about me that is totally false, just totally false. And a couple of my friends have responded. Dr. Juwan Taylor, for example, who is you know Juwan, right? You know Juwan, right? That's my girl. So about 5 or 6 people said something, and then Juwan texted me, and what the person was saying was so outlandish that normally I don't respond, but I just want us really to be more charitable toward one another. And by the way, these are people who ask the good Lord to bless them in spite of who they are. Come on, Ed, help me here.
Hey, all I could tell you is most people that have those type of problems really have a problem with themselves.
I agree. But I'm just saying is, then we get mad when other folks say things about us or go after us,
Right.
but they see how we treat each other. So if we treat each other better, then maybe other folks will treat us better.
Well,
What you think, Ed?
Well, we got to love everybody within our families.
Speaking of loving everybody, Ed did a pretty good job of that in high school. All right, what's up, Sean? Xavier Williams, CEO of Detroit versus everybody. What's happening, man?
Nothing much, man. Just happy to be here.
Did you drive here in the Brinks truck?
Oh no Brinks truck. I
wish.
wish.
I know you guys got your own store in the airport, and you've expanded across the country, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. We so right now we have probably have placement in about 10 different airports.
Okay.
Nationally.
But are they Detroit or are they the local?
So they're local to whatever their market is. So
Okay.
like for example, we're in MSP,
Okay.
Minnesota. So we have Minnesota versus everybody. Everybody loves Minnesota.
Right.
We're in LaGuardia.
Okay.
Newark.
So is that an LGA versus everybody?
No, New York. It's New York versus
York.
everybody, which actually went pretty crazy when the Knicks won the finals.
I
NBA
know
finals.
they did. You probably got to. Where you go to church, man?
Triumph. I go to Triumph.
Oh man, you had to bring that tab over here to New Testament. Man. So just real quickly, how did the idea come? I mean, it seems so simple. And people, by the way, I can give you 100 people I know that come to me all the time. They got a T-shirt in mind,
Mm-hmm.
right? But yours took off.
Well, so like, how much time I got?
We got to 8:30, but I don't want you to spend your time on that. I'm just curious how it all happened.
Okay, so my best friend and business partner, known him since I was 5 years old, Tommy Walker.
Right.
We actually went to elementary school, then we skipped middle school, then got to high school, went to Cass Tech. He actually approached me with an idea to go into business with him. So I was just like my last year of college, and he was doing stuff. He's a freelance graphic designer at the time, and he's doing stuff in the entertainment industry, like graphic design. He said, Sean, I think that, I see a need for merchandise. Mm-hmm. So I think if we, let's figure out a way to put my graphics on merchandise. And so he's like, well, but
this ain't really a graphic, man. This is some words.
I know. I'm not. I'm just
go ahead.
giving you the story. So he said, man, let's just buy a screen printing press. Let's buy a screen printing press. I'm like, okay, cool. So we didn't get the money till I actually graduated college and went to work. I went to work for Blue Cross. I'm an actuary by trade.
Okay.
So went to work for Blue Cross. I was on my actuarial track, and I got my first bonus check, and then we actually had enough money to go buy the screen printing press. Okay. So for like a year, we kind of became role scholars, learning how to make T-shirts and whatnot. This was 2011 and 2012. And then at that time, Detroit was going through a lot of just like turmoil. Like we was coming out of the recession.
Right.
The city was actually bankrupt. There was a lot. We was in the news for a lot of scandals. It was just a lot of just craziness. So Tommy leaves from Detroit and goes to LA, and he gets to his hotel in LA, turns the TV on, and sees the scandal, the Detroit scandal in the news in LA. And that's when he came out with the idea, Detroit versus everybody.
Okay.
So from there, he came back, played around with some design concepts, put it on a shirt. And then one of our friends at the time was a rapper. He said, hey man, let me wear that shirt. I'm performing tonight. Wore the shirt.
There you go.
And then came back without the shirt. And then from there, that's when the brand was born.
The guy named Desmond Lester, who works for me, what's the rapper name? Chris, what's his name? It was just at Ford Field. Chris Brown wore his Lions jacket that he made, right? So now, he didn't know, by the way, you just can't use the Lions stuff.
Yeah,
But I've helped him with that. I put him in touch with the president.
that's actually my cousin.
Desmond.
Yeah.
Well, how about that? He does, he does my sound and stuff. For
Oh,
me,
cool,
right?
cool.
He does my videos and all that. So I hooked him up with Larry Lee,
Mhm.
who used to be vice president of the Lions, and hooked him up with the Lions.
Oh, cool.
So we can, work that out so he won't have any issues to
Yeah.
actually get the licensure for it.
Yep.
But it's amazing, man, how little ideas like that become big things.
Yep.
What is the gross revenue for your company? Roughly.
I'll say this throughout, and I'll just give a number. We probably like our brands probably brought in over $100 million in revenue.
Okay.
From licensing deals
Right.
to just wholesale,
Yeah.
even our direct to consumer. So
Right.
throughout time, we probably brought in $100 million.
Okay. And how much of that you hold on to?
That's a question. That's a question for the accountants.
I want that 10%. I want that time, Ed.
Yes, and you have a background, I say family-wise, with the countries of Liberia and Barbados.
Yep.
And the way you're talking, you're U.S. born.
Correct.
So please let our audience know how your family helped shape who you are.
All right. So let me give you a little history on that. So post-slave trade, when they signed the treaty or the whatever legislature to abolish slavery,
it was an amendment.
An amendment.
14th Amendment.
Okay, the 14th Amendment.
Which, by the way, MAGA and them want to repeal and indicate that it did not specifically speak to the enslavement of Africans. You just need to know that. All you people talking about vote for these Republicans, they want to basically eliminate the Emancipation Proclamation and make void the 14th Amendment and make you involuntary slaves because some of y'all are already voluntary slaves. I said that. Is that right, Barry? Okay, go ahead, brother. I just want to teach y'all this morning.
Thank you.
And having press conferences over here in my backyard with Mike Rogers and black folks is just, Karen Whitsett shouldn't be a surprise. That's why we whipped her in the first place. But just y'all don't go for the okie doke. Go ahead.
All right. So my family or my lineage or my ancestors, they James Monroe, the president at the time,
right,
gave black people an opportunity to go back
to Liberia,
to Africa, which was Liberia, right?
Yeah.
So it wasn't Liberia at the time, but it was
right
here. Go here, and
by the way, that's where Nina Simone and Kwame Ture settled at one point, Liberia, Monrovia.
Yep.
Yeah.
So my lineage, I think it was 345 individuals got on a boat and actually got to Liberia or migrated over to Liberia actually on my birthday, May 10th, 1865.
Right.
So from that boat, I think three of the first 5 presidents of Liberia became president at some point. And then my great-great-grandfather, William David Coleman, was actually the president and vice president of Liberia.
How about that?
And
who is the most famous African American first graduate from Harvard's PhD program that settled in Monrovia?
I don't know.
W.E.B. Du Bois. And if you go to Liberia today, they have a whole monument that honors him still to this day.
Have you ever been?
I haven't. My wife has gone.
Okay.
But I'm a historian by trade. I had opportunity to study at University of Cincinnati in a master's program. Didn't take it under one of the greatest post-Civil War historians. And but this is my area, W.E. Du Bois, he went to Liberia and they still honor him to this day. Let me ask another question. And I was thinking about it, one of the things that I help people with is how they harness their ideas.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you on several occasions that I have spoken things. For example, Don't Do Duggan, the Democratic Party took that. I come up with these things. How important is it for you or for someone who has these kind of ideas that can be made profitable, protect the integrity of their ideas.
So that's where we're working on now. We just launched a nonprofit, Everybody Cares, earlier this year, February. And one of the components of Everybody Cares is ownership for everybody. And so within ownership for everybody, we want to attack or help bring awareness to like actually ownership within entrepreneurship. Because most times, you know, they tell you to start a business, right? Get an LLC, get a bank account, get product or services, whatever you're going to do, get cash flow, and then now you're good. But they don't really preach, or most people don't preach actual ownership. Like it's actually surprising to me. I have conversations with my partners every day of how many people don't understand what intellectual property is, or even know what the concept
Absolutely.
is.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's bringing awareness, like, because we fight this every day. Like we always fighting a different versus everybody that comes out. Like we're fighting some stuff with some municipalities in the area that's taking the mark. So like we're constantly fighting.
Yeah, because people will steal your stuff, you know. And the main thing is naming it is one thing, but claiming it is another.
Correct.
Right? So for example, we have this Detroit Talent Showcase that we've launched, and it's really growing. And you know, once a month. Whose phone is that? Okay, I can hear it over here. Any rate, so when I started to launch that, we actually checked into Detroit's Got Talent. Nobody owned it. We own that to this day. We own that. And I mean, and filed for it, assumed name. I mean, incorporated. But there's a group out there using the name, and rather than fight them, you know what I mean? We just went to Detroit Talent Showcase. But your point is this. You have to own that stuff, right? You gotta put your name on it. You know?
I think our community, our demographic, like we don't understand that concept.
Yeah,
but everybody else does.
Oh, I mean, I just told you the story of the Stylistics.
Yeah.
Did you hear that story?
Yeah, I heard it. Yeah.
I mean, this Russell Tompkins was 18 years old when he was singing hits for the Stylistics. Under Gamble and Huff, Kenny Gamble. You know, we just had Billy Paul's wife here last week, and we did a tribute to him. And to his credit, he owned a lot of the stuff. So when Kenny Gamble sold all that portfolio from Philadelphia Sounds and CBS Records, he didn't have a right to sell Billy Paul stuff. And Billy Paul got $12 million off the top, plus residuals for the rest of his life that his wife now gets from Abscott and stuff like that, because he owned like lyrics, he owned music, right? And so I think it's an important point, and that's what you're going to be doing through Everybody Cares.
Correct.
Teaching people how to actually not only have an idea, but to own it, right?
To own it. Like that's the most important thing. Like you can, and there's so many ways to do it. Like people own the actual businesses. They'll own a business within the LLC, but then they'll own the intellectual property in their estate. Right. So it's so many ways to chop it up. And one of my mentors, a guy from Detroit, Ken Johnson, he actually invented the game Phase 10.
Okay.
And he told me about this early on. This was like 2015 when the brand first moved into the airport, and had a conversation with him. That's when I met him. And he was like, man, you know, doing your own production is cool. Direct to consumer is cool. But the way to really scale this thing, get to license.
So let me give you a good example. I won't take long.
Okay.
My dad archived all of his stuff from the 1920s on. I mean, notes from Dr. King. I mean, his secretary typed the speech that my dad edited that existed nowhere in Dr. King's archives. That's now in Boston in the official archives. So, you know, people were coming, and we took it all to the Charles Wright Museum. People coming and going through my dad's stuff, publishing books, citing the Charles Wright Museum. So what did I do? I incorporated my dad's archives, right? Registered them and all his likeness and everything else, and spent $140,000 having everything digitized.
How did you know how to do all this?
I mean, because, you know, I just started looking into it. And, you know, and I knew the King family well. I mean, you can't, if you have a personal photograph of Dr. King, you cannot publish that without permission from either the King estate or whatever, right? And I know Dexter, I know Yolanda. So I wrapped it all up, because August Meyer from University of Michigan was the biggest culprit. He wrote several books off my dad's archives. We didn't get a dime. So what did I do? I spent the money. The same guy that did Robert Kennedy, Jackie Robinson, Daisy Bates archives, digitized mine. My dad's archives is phenomenal. I mean, radio shows, Dr. King introducing his show. Anyway, make a long story short, Wayne State came to me finally and said, we want to put it in the Walter Reuther Library. We got to get through a few things because my dad and Walter had a rough relationship. So guess what? My family still owns the archives, but they're at they're at the Walter Reuther Library. You listen to this?
Yeah.
And I have a deal that any publishing or any money that comes from that archive and the use of his material, we get into my father's estate.
Well, congratulations.
And it's been generating money every year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I got tired of looking up and seeing pictures of my dad in books and scholarly books. I mean, and they're not even citing my dad's collections.
With that's the fight we have every day.
Yes.
Like we're fighting, like, and I'm not gonna say.
I mean, you got something like that. So I imagine, it could be the devil versus everybody. You know?
And that's what we feel like we're fighting. Like
Yeah.
we're fighting. Like I'm saying, it's a municipality currently using our brand and our likeness
in this area.
in this area.
You don't want to tell us
I
who it
don't
is.
want to get into all that, but we're
Because
fighting.
it's gonna be us versus them.
Right. So we're fighting that. We're fighting that municipality. It's some brands in the locally that's trying to take the brand. We're fighting that. So as opposed to to trying to fight it like face value, like on the face, we came up with this Everybody Cares initiative, ownership for everybody, and we're gonna educate as opposed to
Well, I just want to put a shout out there. I mean, for example, the shirt that we have, we license that with you, right?
Correct.
So if you want that shirt and you want to use that image, go to the man, go to Sean and do a deal. And I think that municipality at some point tell us who it is off record. They need to do a deal, Ed.
Yeah. Well, I have a suggestion for anyone that is interested or has the idea of getting a patent, and that is write down your game plan, your business plan,
Send
and your
yourself a
patent.
copyrighted letter.
Send it certified.
Certified. I mean,
Send it certified to yourself so
we'll
that
have to
everything's
ask our lawyer in the moment does that work, because I know people have done that. But go ahead.
Well, and getting back to you, and we've talked about a little bit about it, but what would you suggest to someone that has a business idea? How should they go about it?
As far as like trademarks,
Trademark.
I always say this, like I was in law school when the brand came out, and I actually assisted with doing our first couple trademarks.
Yeah.
So I've learned how to the flow of doing trademarks, like how to push the paper, so to speak. So what I would say to most people starting their business, because a lot of people like to have a strict plan that they stick to. Just like you said, save your records, like archive the things that you're doing, because there is a thing called a common trademark. Like if you're doing business with that mark, even if you don't have the trademark, as long as you're showing that you're using the commerce, because at the end of the day, when you file that trademark, you're talking to trademark attorneys, and it's all situational.
Yeah. I mean, it's like any doctor that has himself as a patient has a fool, right?
Correct.
For a doctor. So you need to get professional help with this, which is part of what you're talking about, right? So tell us again about the new platform and how people can access that, and you can be of some assistance to them.
So we have Everybody Cares, Michigan.org. You can check that site out. We have forms on there where if you have any questions, you can fill it out and get a consultation, so to speak. But for us, it's just really tapping in with us, because at the end of the day, we want to help the community to grow their businesses. Whatever.
How old are you?
I'm 40.
40 years old.
Yeah.
And how old were you when this all launched?
26.
So you've been doing 14 years.
14 years.
And you have retail shops. I know there's one in the airport.
Yep.
Do you still have any in the Detroit city or?
So that's so prior to COVID, we had eight stores. We went into a licensing deal with Gucci, and we decided to consolidate to one. This was like a couple months before COVID.
Okay.
We caught a lot of flack because, of course, we had 75 employees, went down to 15.
Right.
But then COVID, when COVID happened, we looked like geniuses, I guess.
Yeah.
So now we kept that model. We have one store brick and mortar store, and then one store in the airport.
Well, where's your brick and mortar store?
We're building it out. We shut down for a couple months.
All right.
We
All
was in.
All right. We're not going. Where do people get your merchandise?
Versuseverybody.com.
Spell out Versus.
Yep, versuseverybody.com. But you can still go to the store. I don't want to say that the store is open because we're still working on it. But we do pop-up shops on the weekend. So you can go down there today. 2529 Orleans Street. 2529 Orleans Street.
Yep. Got a quick question.
You got 30 seconds.
Yep. Are you planning on expanding into Africa?
Yeah. We doing Africa versus everybody now. I'm actually in the process of bringing our manufacturing to Liberia.
Well, I'm gonna license a shirt from you. It's gonna be called Black People versus Everybody.
Well, that's what Africa versus everybody is.
I hear you, but I don't want Africa. A lot of these people don't want nothing to do with Africa. They claim from Switzerland. they were black skiers in Switzerland. So glad to have you, man. We'll have our Dabo shirt next week, and we'll figure out how we're gonna get those out. We bought a significant number of them. And we're glad to have you. Glad to be able to help you. But we'll be right back after this. We got Barry Goodman with us.
Here's the wake-up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth be.
It's the final Wednesday Jazzy night of the 2026 season at the Aretha Franklin Amphitheater. And live, it's Hiroshima. With special guest, Naturally 7. Tickets for the final show of the season on sale now. Available at Ticketmaster.com in the Aretha box office. Presented by Chase.
Hello, I'm Reverend Horace Sheffield. My friend Dr. John Lippman has spent the last 30 years helping women suffering from fibroids. I've seen his passion for this work firsthand at his center in Atlanta. Now, Dr. Lippman and Dr. Philip Adler are bringing that mission to Detroit through EMOJ Fibroid Centers offering uterine fibroid embolization, or UFE, a proven non-surgical option to treat fibroids. Call 248-793-5249 or visit emojfibroidcenters.com to learn more.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your man Mike Epps, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Sheffield. Make sure you get yours.
I'm Hester Wheeler, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
This is Super Bowl champion Lomas Brown, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield, my man.
This is Grover McCain, and I get my wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
It's the final Wednesday Jazzy night of the 2026 season at the Aretha Franklin Amphitheater. And live, it's Hiroshima. With special guest, Naturally 7. Tickets for the final show of the season on sale now. Available at Ticketmaster.com in the Aretha box office. Presented by Chase.
You've been listening to
Here's the wake-up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Where my dancers at?
Wake up, let the truth be.
Come on, y'all got to get up every time and get to moving. Come on, y'all stand up, work off them calories. Follow me.
It's the wake-up call with Reverend
Go
Horace
ahead, mama.
Sheffield. Rise up, wake up,
Got that blue gray hair.
the wake-up call. Reverend Horace Sheffield.
All right, we're blessed to be here, and the website is DaboEvents.com. Dabo Events. Wait. DaboTickets.com. DayboatTickets.com. All of the various events that we're talking about, you want to go to DayboatTickets.com. And we need Gerald. Can we put that on the running show every week so we have it? And by the way, one of the reasons we're able to do so many wonderful things, especially my radio show, is Barry Goodman, attorney Barry Goodman.
Where?
There you go, right there. What's up, Barry?
Hey, Reverend, how you doing?
Hey, Barry has elevated our Christmas toy giveaway by putting
No
something
doubt.
very merry in there. What a difference that one little word makes.
It definitely does, and
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it again this year.
Absolutely. We're gonna make it huge and large. Brother Irvin, you know we got a meeting today, right? Down there. I just want to make sure. So Barry, what's on your mind today? What is back to school? What kind of things are related to it?
Well, I think the children are going back to school in Detroit, I think a week from Monday.
Yes.
So it seems timely to talk about the dangers of your kids going off to school, and rather than want to talk about the fact that they need a day of school that is just wonderful. It's exciting, it's learning, it's educational, but there are
But what are some of the dangers though?
well, there's some of the dangers just getting to school.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah,
Walking
I mean,
to school.
Walking to school or biking to school.
Right.
I mean, your biggest risk is other drivers that are out there speeding. They're distracted. They're failing to yield to crosswalks.
Right.
Children are difficult
So
to see. They're little.
Yeah. I have a question that's really tangential to this.
Go ahead.
And I've always thought about it.
Yeah.
Because I see 5 and 6 year old kids or 7, 8 year old kids with 5-year-old kids. The fact that a parent allows an 8-year-old to take the 5-year-old to school mitigate liability.
No.
Okay. I mean, I was just curious. I mean, you shouldn't have had them going to school by themselves. But explain that to me.
Well, they shouldn't. But the laws are such that parents are very difficult to hold them responsible. These are their children. If a car accidentally hits a child, they can take the position that, hey, why did this little child here by themselves?
Right.
We can't see them. They ran out. They darted into the road. That's one of the arguments that a driver can have. The child darted out. And a lot of times they do. They're running across the street. They see a friend. They don't know at 5 or 8 how to really protect themselves, how to look both ways, how to be careful. So we want to make sure that they do have as much safety as they can.
So my question, Eddie, is they can make that same argument about an adult, and you're saying that that argument doesn't fly whether it's a child or an adult, right?
I'm not sure I understand.
Okay, in other words, I'm driving and somebody runs in front of my car and I hit them.
Right.
I may have some liability. And I'm saying, you saying that if a child does that, there's no difference than some person who runs out and is hit by a car, right?
Well, when
help me
you're in a
understand.
school zone or in an area where there is a school, you have to, as a driver, have a heightened sense of what's around
Of
you.
your environment.
Of the
And there are
environment.
all kind of signs that tell you to drive slower and children to hear and all that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if there's an accident with a child, typically there's more liability in the driver than if an adult ran out. Because an adult knows better.
Right.
Children don't. You have to understand that and be careful when you're driving. Don't get on your text or your phone. Make sure that you follow the rules of the road. When you get close to a school and the school zone signs are there, you have to slow down immediately.
Right.
You're down to 20 miles an hour.
Yep.
You have to. One of the big things is when the kids take buses and you're driving down and you pass a bus that's loading kids.
Right.
Or
And
letting
you go
kids
by,
out.
yeah, right. Mhm.
Understand, I think in Detroit now, in a lot of communities, that arm that comes out that tells you to stop has a camera on it.
Right.
So you can drive by.
And flashing lights a lot of times.
A lot of flashing lights. The flashing lights matter more than the sign. If the flashing lights are on, you have to stop and the law says 20 feet behind at a minimum, the bus.
Right.
But if you go by that bus, you're going to get a call from a law enforcement agency saying, hey, you drove past. We have a camera, the rebuttable presumption that you did the wrong thing, and you could pay a fine of up to $500. So it's $300 to $500 depending on what you actually did.
So let's give out the number 1-800 trusted.
1-800
If
trusted.
you get busted, 1-800 trusted.
Right.
If you get frustrated, 1-800 trusted.
1-800 trusted, where you'll answer any question you
Yeah.
have. I know you want to call about the Lions, the
Yeah.
Tigers, that's fine too.
Yeah.
But we're here. It's a free call.
Right.
We never charge. In fact, if we take your claim, we never charge unless we're successful.
Right.
And we have a 99%
So let's
success rate
back
over
that up real
35
quick,
years.
because you got that in such a rapid litany.
Ah,
I think it's important for people to know that you do something that some of these larger law firms, other folks not even want to do, and that is you at least listen to everybody and help them determine whether or not there's a cause of action, right?
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, communication is the key.
Yeah.
And our number, 1-800 trusted, is over 34 years of care to the communities
Right.
here in Michigan, primarily in the Detroit area, to reach out and help. And we are there to, it's like a family to us.
Yeah.
We, you see law firms that say, oh, we're a family law firm
Yeah.
because they have,
Yeah.
we have a father and son in our firm. We don't call it a family law firm because of that.
Yeah.
We call it a family law firm because of,
And you're
we're
not
family
charging
to
them more
everybody.
money because you spend all that money on advertising.
Ah, there you go. But I look around in this room and this is my family.
Well, let me
now.
just tell you something. And you've been like Papa to us, okay? Because I have some members here. I have one member who had an accident with an insurance company that took almost a year to pay, and you finally got them paid. I have another member who's walking around here, and not only does he drive without his teeth, sometimes his eyes ain't good. He's had 2 accidents that totaled his vehicles in the last few months. You representing him, so and I haven't directed any of these people to you. They just know you and the relationship they have, and they tell, oh, I've been in touch with Barry. Barry's handling my case. I mean, outstanding. I would recommend them anyway. Ed?
Yeah. I'm experiencing this myself. I'm taking my granddaughter out get her ready for the road test. Young people are not paying any attention to the signs. And that's one of the major causes of these problems or these accidents are not sign reading. So if you're involved in anybody young, learning how to drive, helping them to learn how to drive or teaching them,
But I don't understand it because, by the way, we had drivers training as part of the curriculum in high school. High schools had their own drivers. How many of y'all remember that? High schools had their own. And so one of the main things about getting your license was being able to say what the signs meant.
Right.
Well, one of the problems is that because of budgets, high schools are not really having driver's education.
They got to go to a private entity.
Right.
And then you have to pay for it.
Right.
And it's not cheap.
Right.
So a lot of parents don't hire a driving instructor to really give them the care and knowledge that they need. They try to do it themselves. Get in the car, or we'll get in the car. You're 15. You got a little temporary license. The parent sits in the front seat with their right foot in pain by the time they're done because they've been hitting imaginary brakes.
You're absolutely correct.
But the problem is that inexperience is a major factor in accidents, especially around schools, because they haven't been taught.
Right.
My own children went through these driving schools. They don't teach them about school zones.
Right.
They teach them about the major things that you have to do when you drive and what you learn, and they don't really tell them about the crosswalks and the crossing guard. The crossing guard steps out in the street. You got to hit your brakes. You got to stop right away.
So one of the funny things, one of my children failed, and I taught them. Okay, and you know why they failed? Because they got in the car and didn't adjust their mirrors.
Right.
Right.
Did you know that's
step
number
one?
The car, the first thing they want you to do is adjust your mirrors. Right. And
that's step one.
There you go.
Yeah, you could fail for not being able to parallel park, and nobody parallel parks anymore.
Oh, yeah.
You just pull into a space.
Well, now, but let me tell you something. The car is parallel park for you now.
That's true.
They'll do it for you. Yeah. I mean, too bad they don't pay your car note for you. But go ahead.
Right, but again, when you're taking teenagers, it's distraction, it's speeding, it's the other passengers. You're not supposed to have other children in the car. If you're a 15, 16-year-old, you can't have
some other people in there.
Only an adult.
Only an adult who's an actually licensed driver.
Right.
So that permit, which by the now you can get as young as 14, I think, based on some circumstances. means you have to have an adult licensed driver in the vehicle with you.
That's correct.
Yeah, Ed?
Yes. And we kind of skating around it, but what should a parent do if their child or even them are injured on school property?
Well, if they're injured on school property, one of the biggest problems I have when I get calls from parents that their child suffered an injury at school, and the parent was never even notified by the school. The child comes home holding their arm, and all of a sudden you're going to urgent care. The school has an obligation to let a parent know immediately. An incident report needs to be made immediately by the school. The parent needs to make sure that's done. You need to make sure that, and if it happened, you have to start getting to the school and making sure that you got their studies covered and there's missed activity. But schools are dangerous places themselves. Accidents happen all the time.
What kind of things happen in schools, Barry?
Well, children slip all the time, on steps and ice and snow, on a wet floor. And the problem is when they call me, I have to say I can't help you with those claims because a school, any government body, a library, the city county building, they have what we call immunity. You cannot, it's like started way back when we were free from England, but it's still the king can do no wrong. Government in theory can do no wrong.
I thought that I know there's some immunity, for example, police, and the police chase and stuff. I didn't know that was true for all forms of government.
Yeah, all forms of government in terms of a school.
Okay.
There's immunity for maintenance.
Okay.
If a child slips on a wet floor because it wasn't a wet sign down, the school's immune.
Okay.
But if the building itself of the school is defective, a ceiling tile falls down and hits the child, a step is cracked or falls, or a curb, not a curb, the step into the school is broken, and you can bring a claim. The big thing is you only have 120 days to notify the school, file the right paperwork, and get the claim so that it's preserved.
Yeah.
So families should always, if there's an accident, and you don't know whether it was maintenance or something else caused it, call 1-800-TRUSTED. Call Goodman Acker.
Too bad we can't sue them for the injury from not teaching them how to read and write.
All right. I mean, children don't know how to write cursive anymore.
I mean, they don't teach it. I mean, they're trying to get back to it, but and I've been embroiled in a not so fierce war of words about the Detroit Public Schools Community District. I don't know if Gerald's familiar with this, but the state of Michigan published their results and said only 10% of the kids in DPSCD read at grade level. Well, the superintendent shot back and said, no, 13%. So as I tell, 1,000 kids got killed in school yesterday. The superintendent said, no, it was 998. I mean, the fact that these kids are not reading, and I mean, 90% of them or 87% of them, to me, is a crime. But anyway, so what kind of injuries do you see in schools that are recoverable?
Well, again, as they say, if there's something with the building, it's recoverable.
Okay.
But if they're out in the parking lot, it's not, because that's not attached to the building.
Okay.
You get a lot of sports injuries. Kids get hurt all the time playing basketball, football, baseball, whatever.
Those are not recoverable?
Those are not recoverable either unless there's a gross negligence action. For instance, I had a matter where a child drowned in a school pool.
Right.
And the coach had left the pool to go do something else, came back and the kid had drowned. You can bring a claim for gross negligence and something like that. Whenever you have a question, call Goodman.
1-800-TRUSTED.
Absolutely.
Don't get busted, get trusted. 1-800-GET-TRUSTED. That's Barry Goodman. And he'll tell you the truth, and he'll research it and tell you whether or not there is a cause of action. One more quick question I know we've had tort reform in Michigan, which kind of limits, for example, what you can recover.
Correct.
I mean, if you lose a finger, you can't get $1 million. I mean, you know what I mean? How has that affected practice of law?
Well, I mean, the immunity that I just talked about is a form of tort reform.
Okay.
If someone suffers an injury in a medical malpractice case, there are caps that you have to, even if you suffer an injury that's worth tens of millions of dollars, your cap for pain and suffering is under $1 million today. So you're locked into that. And there's a lot of steps such as that I mentioned in an accident against a government entity, you have to put them on notice within 120 days. In a malpractice case, you have to give notice. You have to give them 6 months and file what we call an affidavit of merit to provide them with what you say the claim is. And they have a right to research it and come back to you. They never do. They just drag it out, and you have to file claims. Until recently, you couldn't have a product liability claim if it was FDA approved. When we got a Democratic trifecta a few years back,
that changed.
That changed.
I was going to say this. All of this really came under Engler's administration, and there is some connection to who you elect and what happens in terms of the legal topography.
Absolutely. I mean, and the governor is the head of your state. And I know that sitting here one day when I was here was our good friend Jocelyn Benson, who's running for governor, and she will make a great governor.
Right.
I mean, the key is, how do you reform government? Take a look at what she did 8 years in reforming our Secretary of State's office. I mean, we used to have to wait 3 hours to get a new license. Now you can do it over the computer, or there's a kiosk, so you walk in with an appointment. Let her do that to the government.
I'm sorry, I got to get while we're on this subject. So I'm involved in insurance reform, and the theme is called "It's Time." I've looked at this. Michigan has the highest rates in the country, and it really is because of all the entities that are attended to a claim, right? I mean, and I know you don't do all this, but I mean, these major law firms, they have, nursing homes that they deal with and attendant care they deal with. But I know this is a problem. What made me awakened about the cost is because I have a place in Florida, and my insurance in Florida is 1/5 of what I pay here. When I go and redid my plates for a vehicle, I spent $3,000 on here. It was $250 for 2 years. But that's really because of all the folks who feed off of this unlimited amount of money is available for insurance. So, I mean, I think I have PIP. I'm glad I have it. Right?
Absolutely.
I mean, if something happens to me, I lost wages for life. I mean, my care is taken care of. But I still think that if we're going to make Detroit, and I tell my daughter this all the time, because they had 30-some thousand people moved in 1 year to Detroit. That's why numbers are positive. And 18,000 of them did not change their insurance. They still lifted their insurance from where they came.
Well, the problem with that is if you move and you're here more than 6 months and you don't change your insurance, you're going to be told by your insurance company from Florida, for instance, you moved up here. Sorry, we're not covering you in Michigan because you moved. You have a Michigan
how do they know it, Barry?
Well, because you have an accident. There's an accident report. Maybe you got a new driver's license from Michigan, or your current address on the police report is the Detroit address, and that's where you're getting your mail now. This is where you're working.
They should be as eager. They should be as eager to pay me for claims as they are denying them. Go ahead, Ed.
And by the way, when you brought up Florida, it may be cheaper, but because there's only $10,000 cap in PIP, that's why it's cheaper in Florida than here, where you might have unlimited
how do we
benefit.
Reform it, Barry? You have any ideas? How do we get our insurance costs down?
Well, I think one of the things that
there are people in this room with an ordinary vehicle that are spending $5,000 and $6,000 a year for insurance.
Right, and the big problem is that they supposedly revamped the insurance industry to cut the benefit. They cut the bills that you receive. Maybe your bill went down 10%, but your benefits went down 80 or 90%. So it doesn't pay. And
so
Florida,
one last question.
We got better for homeowners in Florida, by the way.
State Farm has a dividend program. I don't know if you're all aware of that, but I have State Farm for everything. Here, the church, all my vehicles. And in the last 2 weeks, I got almost $8,000 in dividend checks from State Farm. I don't know if your other insurance companies do it. We have an African-American female that handles us. And I mean, this is the first time they got some kind of program now where they give you a portion of dividends back from State Farm.
Right. There's several insurance companies do that.
Do they? Okay.
What you do is, in theory, instead of paying for a premium, if you look at small print, you're basically buying into almost not ownership of State Farm, but you're buying stock in it so that they pay you a premium, especially if you don't have any claims.
Right.
They do this. And of course, you don't recognize that they've raised your rate 20%, so they can give you the premium back.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I got one thing, and I've always pondered this, and that is when you buy a new car, your collision price is one. But as your car depreciates, why does not your insurance costs go down?
Because insurance companies want to make money. Understand that the whole process of the insurance industry is that they want to earn a living just like any other business. The more that they collect in premiums and the less they pay out in claims, that difference is profit. And they want that to continue to expand and grow. But
here's what people don't know, and I know you know. I was made aware of this from a good friend of mine who actually works for one of these companies. Insurance companies go out and buy reinsurance. So the claims that they pay is not coming from their money. It's coming from Chubb and companies like that.
Or AIG, right.
So,
absolutely.
I mean, really. So State Farm is getting all your money and they're paying people and, whatever. But you have basically 2 minutes left.
Well, I mean, what I'd like to say is we've talked about a lot of things, and every one are questions. If we cut our finger, we'll take care of it. But if we cut it badly enough where you need stitches, you're not doing it yourself. You're going to a doctor or an urgent care or a hospital. If you have an accident or any other question in the legal field, don't try to figure it out yourself. Don't ask ChatGPT because their answer is not going to be right half the time when it comes to those simple questions. It doesn't cost a dime to call Goodman Acker at 1-800-TRUSTED and let us answer that question. We can tell you what to do. We can direct you to another lawyer if it's not our field. We can take care of your case. So all you have to do is get better, and we'll deal with the legal aspect.
So here's what I tell everybody.
Call us.
Here's the thing. The insurance company is there to not pay the claim.
Right.
And so you should never assume because you've got a nice agent, because even that agent has to negotiate with the corporate entity. From the moment you have an accident, if there's any questions, call 1-800-TRUSTED.
Absolutely. I mean, insurance companies have the 3D ways to do things.
Which is what?
They delay. You keep asking them questions. They'll get back to you. They'll get back to you. They'll get back to you. And then when you finally say, what the heck is going on? They deny it.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you're going to call a lawyer because you have to defend the claim. And they're going to tell you we're not paying. But if you call a lawyer then, they've got statements from you. They've got information. They built the whole defense because you haven't called a lawyer from the get-go so that lawyer deals with it. And if they want to delay it, then screw them. We're fine.
I'm out of town. 1-800-TRUSTED. And be like Jesus if you get busted. Don't say a mumbling word. Be right back after this.
You've been listening to.
Here's the wake up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up.
Final Wednesday jazzy night of the 2026 season at the Aretha Franklin Amphitheater. And live, it's Hiroshima. With special guest, Naturally 7. Tickets for the final show of the season on sale now. Available at Ticketmaster.com in the Aretha box office. Presented by Chase.
Hello, I'm Reverend Horace Sheffield. My friend Dr. John Lippman has spent the last 30 years helping women suffering from fibroids. I've seen his passion for this work firsthand at his center in Atlanta. Now, Dr. Lippman and Dr. Philip Adler are bringing that mission to Detroit through Emerge Fibroid Centers offering uterine fibroid embolization, or UFE, a proven non-surgical option to treat fibroids. Call 248-793-5249 or visit EmergeFibroidCenters.com to learn more.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your man Mike Epps, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Sheffield. Make sure you get yours.
I'm Hester Wheeler, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 AM. The Wake Up Call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
This is Super Bowl champion Lomas Brown, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield, my man.
This is Groveland, Kansas, and I get my wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield every Saturday morning from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 AM. The Wake Up Call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's your girl, Randy Rosario, comedian and TV host. I get my Saturday wake-up call with my guy, Reverend Horace Sheffield. Think about it. Good day.
I'm Sheriff Raphael Washington, Wayne County, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up every Saturday morning from Reverend Horace Sheffield, and you should too.
Every Saturday morning from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 AM. The Wake Up Call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
It's the final Wednesday jazzy night of the 2026 season at the Aretha Franklin Amphitheater. And live, it's Hiroshima. With special guest, Naturally 7. Tickets for the final show of the season on sale now. Available at Ticketmaster.com in the Aretha box office. Presented by Chase.
You've been listening to
Hey, 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 here's the wake up call. With Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Good
Rise up,
morning.
wake up. Let the
Good
truth
morning.
be told. The
You
wake
got a
up
mic, turn the mic on.
Morning. There we go.
What's up, Brad?
Here myself. What's up, B? How are you, Brian?
Good. What's up, Detroit? Welcome to the Manifest Wellness
Listeners.
Show. And welcome back to the Manifest Wellness Show.
Welcome back.
Man, summer's, I don't say it's gone. I don't want to say that because it's still, we're still in it.
We wanted to extend.
Yeah, we do.
You know what, to be honest with you? I'll be honest with you. I really wanted to extend, and I wanted to extend because of the social activities, the fellowship, the warm weather.
Yeah.
But I got a flip side to that.
What's that?
I really wanted to end.
Why? I mean, you know what?
And because of this.
Okay.
Man.
So much to do. So much going on. Like Detroit has not been this lit in a long time.
That's what I'm saying. I love the social activities.
Yeah.
I love the fellowship. I love all the programs and all of that that's going on. I love it. But the flip side of it, of what I've seen and what I have to do.
You got to keep your head on the swivel because you might get shot.
Man, that's the flip side.
That's not even funny, but it's like every time you flip your phone on, 5 people shot, teen shot. Father shot son shot his father. Everybody's shooting everybody. Yeah.
Everybody just shooting, and we at a place now where it's just becoming the norm with these kids. Just the other day with an 8-year-old.
There's a 10-year-old got shot. Yeah. Right? You talking about right after the
10-year-old?
funeral?
I'm sorry. Yeah.
People come home from a funeral.
Yeah.
But see,
I mean, it seemed like they have, and right before that, a week before that, because I get everything wearing the other
you know
hat.
what that is.
I know exactly what it is, but it's just.
You think the wintertime is gonna
What I always say this, Brian, and I've been saying this for years. I said warm weather breeds bad behavior. Yeah. And I stand on it, and I stand on it on just what I'm observing and what I'm seeing. Yeah. It seems like it's always a spike in crime, unfortunately, and shootings when there's warm behavior.
But you know what? I think you were here that episode. Do you remember we had the brother Ray Weiner sitting here?
Yeah, Ray.
He told us.
Yeah,
he told us exactly.
He told me exactly what it was
going on. He said, those two sides are warring, and they're not stopping. They're like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the crazy part.
But that was just a piece of it, though, because it's been ongoing.
Yeah, but see, now I think all these, I don't know. I can assume with some assurity that incident yesterday is a related incident.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a firm believer. I mean, I already know this too, just talking to some of my buddies with DVD and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
None of this stuff is random.
No, it's not.
It's none of it's random, unfortunately.
But the thing about it is, is the heinousness of it all. Like the act itself is heinous. The act itself is unnatural.
Yes.
Right. Well, it's the worst part of the natural self. The
Right.
the worst part of your natural self. But the fact that there's no regard for, it's not about the people who said, I'm going to be jumped in, I'm going to be locked in, this is what I want to do, me against you, right? Quote unquote, soldier against soldier. It's like, I'm going to get those close to you, those who have nothing to do with the innocent.
It don't matter.
You know what I'm saying?
It don't even matter no more. And I'm so apprehensive a little bit because my oldest daughter, she going to the 12th this year. So 12th grade senior behavior is senior things. You want to socialize, you want to hang out. She getting invited to parties over the summer. And I don't want to be the type of father that no, you can't go there. But I'm policing everything she going. But even when I'm policing where she going and when I'm dropping off, I got anxiety. I mean, because when they pull up, man, they pulling up.
Yeah.
And I hate the profile, but I'm profiling. Because everybody pulling up, I ain't gonna say everybody, but it has become fashionable for you to wear the hoodies when it's 100 degrees outside.
or shiesty man.
And we already know what's that's behind.
Yeah, like and you wonder why I'm defensive when I see you.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm very defensive, especially when I'm picking up my daughter at these little social gatherings that she had at these little parties, and it's 9 o'clock at night, and 5, 6 of them just unbelievable.
Well, I have just designed to say that I will, because my daughter, your daughter's on one end of it, and my daughter's like bookends. She's starting her senior year, mine's starting her freshman year.
And I was about to talk about my other daughter, which is the same age as yours. So I got one is a senior, and then another one about to start her freshman year.
But at least you have that anxiety, but you kind of know the cycle. I'm going through it because
the beginning.
And then now the kids, she's a good kid, smart kid.
Yeah, I know your daughter. Mine.
She's a developed kid.
Yeah.
And now we got to have this conversation with this developed kid of why your developments are not for everybody.
Absolutely.
They need, know what I'm saying? Not that you
I'm
stifle yourself. Yes.
I tell my daughter the same thing.
And then you can't, you're not saying you can't, but they're at the point where they don't fully understand because they haven't seen or have been jaded by what things are going on in the world, right?
Right.
So she was telling me she had a little friend, liked her, and a while ago they stopped, whatever you want to call it. And he asked her, "Why aren't we seeing you at the teen takeovers?" And I'm sitting here, "Why are you? Your pop's a cop. Why are you at the teen takeovers?"
Man.
Like, and I understand you have to have some kind of outlet.
Right.
You have to. That's just you're a young person. You have that energy. But why are we so designed to do things that are degenerative to us? You know what I'm saying? Like that's that is what I'm most worried about. And she'll be in the private school. She'll be, I'll try to, I don't want to shelter her, but I will at least try to put her in places that you don't always. Yeah.
Man, I don't even know the right answer with that, Ryan, man, being that your daughter going into freshman and mine starting her senior year at Cass. I mean, top tier student. I mean, just A's, just blowing them out like it's no problem. Smart girl, got a strong foundation, but man, she be engaged with this teen takeover. But the positive side of it, she just like, well, this her rationale with daddy. We just coming together just to hang out. I know it's a negative connotation with the teen takeover. She like, I know this, but her rationale is peaceful. All my friends, all my friends, they parents and everything. It's peaceful, but it's just.
But it's not though, because they didn't start off that way.
I know,
and now you got.
But it's hard to explain to her, a little 16-year-old.
Yeah, and then you got situations where
Daddy, you too hard.
Or if depending on where it's at, you'll have a spillover. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they don't care. They love shooting in the crowds. So
Absolutely.
It's like how do you balance that? And then back to school.
Yeah.
Is just like you said, summertime breeze, bad behavior. It's always a thing. You try to get somebody before you get out of school, or you get them when you get right back to school. You know what I'm saying? So I'm praying that this is, we're not putting anything into the universe.
Absolutely.
But definitely, parents, students, like, keep your head on the swivel. It's not.
Be wise. Be prudent.
But I
engage in these with the children.
But now, and this is not a back to school thing, but kind of taking it a little bit past that. It's like this community is not self-aware. We're literally in a time where people are lynching us again, and purposely trying to bait us into situations. And you see, from Carmelo Anthony to Nolan Wells to the young boy in Florida, they look like these kids that are warring right now. So it's like, is there anybody in your life, I'm pretty sure someone stopped and talked to you and was like, hey, it's not really 4 against 5. The real, and because whatever y'all really are beefing over like brother was telling us, it wasn't over. We had all this territory making millions of dollars, and and that's
when he said that.
It's over relates things are, and so all these people have to lose their lives
relational
over things that they have nothing to do with. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody's feelings was hurt, but not looking at it. There is a group of people who are really targeting you, who are really trying to hurt you, who are really want to get you up out of here. You understand what I'm saying? And jam you up, and you like, okay, forget it. I'm just gonna play right into their hands. Like, where's that conversation? And I'm sure, I just have to believe there's somebody saying something to someone that's in those situations, but it's obviously not enough of it. It's obviously not enough of it. It's
obvious, or it's just disregard for wisdom. And I just be trying to wrap my head around it. Like, where did we go where we just have so much disregard for just life?
It's like willful ignorance. Like,
and Brian, me and you, because we come from the same area. We the same area. So we grew up in the era with the silk shirts.
Yeah.
And what happened with the silk shirts in some instances. We come from an era where you socializing in the club, you bump somebody, what potentially that led to.
Yeah.
We come from an era where it's been one neighborhood from a other neighborhood. We do come from the area, but for some strange reason, I just can't wrap my head around this now.
It's because the access. I think there's always been access to weaponry. The real question is like, Brian, so yeah, and I know maybe they can't say it publicly.
I got you.
But there should be some. You would hope there would be some crackdown, some type of investigation on where are these young people getting these guns from?
Yeah.
Where are they getting these guns from? None of these kids, if our literacy rate is down and these kids can't read on level, they ain't making no switches. I'm not saying they can't be technically advanced, but they're not making no switches. So where are these switches coming from? Why aren't we tracing it backwards to where these things are happening? Like we just coming to the community, they got to switch, throw them in jail forever. Well, go throw the person who made these switches in jail forever and shut their factory down.
What was that? What was the movie? 1995, 96, New Jack City, when Nino Brown said, ain't no weapons made in Harlem.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not.
Ain't no assault rifles made in Harlem.
Yeah. Like, really, the only closest thing we get to like a weapons being made is not here, it's in the burbs.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so how is it that all these kids are getting these high impact guns and they're young? Like there's
man, I seen a clip. My cousin showed me a clip. Couldn't have been no more than 12. Had an extended clip.
Yeah.
12.
Oh,
the reason
bro.
why he got go, he showed me because the guy was glorifying it. I ain't gonna even say a guy, he's 12, he's a little boy. 12 years of old, glorifying a switch with the extended Draco with a clip. No, it was a Glock with an extended, and he just glorifying it on social media.
Oh man, it goes deeper. So you remember earlier this year, I told you I had a buddy of mine who son died by suicide.
Yeah, I remember you talking.
All right. I'm finding out later on he did this. This kid was a freshman in high school because he was about to be indicted federally for murder. And the little boys he runs with, one of them he had a good lawyer, but murdered someone. These kids no. If the oldest one is 16, then I'm giving them some years. Young, 13 and probably 15. So one died by suicide, not ready to face the music of the decision that he made. Yep. Another one is in jail now. They threw out the murder case and called it self-defense because he had a good lawyer, because it wasn't self-defense.
Gotcha.
And he got a gun charge, right? And another one who's dude I know that's usually around who just barely escaped. All right. So we're at the funeral for the young man who died by suicide. And it's at that funeral home over on Dexter, just before Joy Road, right? You know what I'm talking about? McFall.
Oh, yeah, McFalls.
Yep. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Right. And so I've never seen anything like this in my life. I'm at, getting out for the viewing, for the wake or whatever, and you see just cops patrolling the area.
Sure.
Like the jump out boys patrolling there and then sitting over and watching the whole thing. I'm gonna get out of the car, parked in the field, walking over to the funeral home. I see one of the young men I know with a bunch of other little, whatever you want to call it, gang members, whatever. And then one of the boys is walking up, and in the middle of his pants, you can just tell it's a long gun, They get about 10 feet from the funeral home. Boys pull up, arrest all of them. What in the world are you bringing a gun to a funeral home for? And I'm pretty sure if you brought the gun to the funeral home, there was a reason.
I'm going to say this, and unfortunately, I'm going to say this as the red. When I do funerals, it's a condition now when I'm doing funerals with that younger generation. I never have to do funerals, officiate funerals with conditions. My condition is the only way I'm going to do a funeral, I got to have DPD present. That's sad. But I'm going to be honest with you.
It's not sad if people getting shot at funerals, if people get shot.
I'm just saying, that's a sad day that we
it is. Yeah, it
For
is.
me,
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
where you coming to eulogize a family member. And my condition as the Rev, if I'm going to eulogize them, I have to have DPD present. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts. I'm not talking about no private security. I need DPD present.
Yeah.
If we gonna eulogize. It has never been like that. I've been in ministry almost 20 years now. Never been like that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to wrap my head around is what is going on. I talk to different colleagues in ministry and other states and everything, saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
To the point where we coming in just as the minister, as the reverend, as the pastor, we just coming in just to provide some form of officiation and closure, try to help out with the family, and we have to come.
Yeah.
I mean, I was almost 10 minutes away. I should have about 10 minutes away from a funeral home where they started shooting at over a year ago. I mean, it hit the news and everything.
Yeah.
It just, what are we doing? Just like you said, you seen it, and I seen it too. I didn't see it before. I remember I was driving in the gas station. It was only a month ago. This 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Fella couldn't have been no more than about 15. He walking around, you could tell it's in his pants. You could walk around and see there's something going on. And I exit out of there so quick.
Yeah.
I called 911. This brother walking up here with this, like, what is this boy about to do? This 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. At the gas station, he walking around with this chopper. You could just tell. I mean, it's just obvious, just like you said. It's obvious.
What area were you in?
6 Mile in Greenfield. I grew up in that area. And definitely he went, I mean, I don't know if he didn't relocate and move in, but
we got a question. Yeah, go ahead, brother.
And it was just baffling.
Yeah.
And me walking around casually, like, man, I exit out of there so quick.
Yeah.
Like I say, I pulled up at the gas station. Everybody know that gas station right there on the corner. I pulled up, it was about 2:30, 3 o'clock at the latest. pulled up. I'm seeing the guy, he walking on 6 Mile. What is this? It's just obvious.
Yeah, that stretch
That's
land
scary.
that stretch lands had a bad rough go this summer too.
Yeah.
Good morning, brother.
Good morning.
Sarge.
Now you talking about that, how they get guns, mail order. They call them ghost guns.
Not the plastic guns. Not the plastic guns. Those are her too.
Yeah, those are her too. They have no serial numbers on them.
Yeah.
And then too, they've been breaking into armories and different things like that.
Yeah, I saw the one young man did at this.
So what I want to say here,
Sarge, can you rewind that again? Can you talk about the mail guns? What do you mean by mail guns for somebody who may not know?
buy parts. You can buy parts. You can order them.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
can order them.
I'm familiar with it. I'm familiar with saying, but somebody maybe in the audience or listening may not know what you're referring to.
We call them ghost guns.
So not just the 3D printed guns.
Yeah.
Just guns that you can put together by putting the parts.
Yeah, this have all the parts.
Come in the mail. I found that out too.
Matter of fact, you get them Uzis and everything.
You get everything. Just come at your door. This is mail. I was shocked on that too.
But listen to this. Right down here on Schoolcraft, Southfield, up to St. Mary's, over to Davidson, and back. 2 groups came this here last weekend in vans in the neighborhood. In vans had a bunch of young white girls and black girls. Let them out there. It was butt naked, and they was having orgies on the people's lines.
What? What is art? What?
True story. This happened recently, and they're doing it. And they're doing it in different neighborhoods. You know, that's a nice area from Southfield.
Yeah. You talking about Grandma Rosedale?
Yeah, right back over there. And then they had the security. They had the security. They had guys with the lights on each corner.
Watching them?
Yeah.
Just trying to be the lookout person.
They were the lookout persons.
To make sure.
And then when the police came, the first 2 cars came from what my understanding was that they came on with their lights on. That didn't disturb anything, but they did it 2 days in a row. I mean, they had people walking around butt naked all over the neighborhood. But on the second week, the police got their things together and they started arresting some of them.
But look, there's always been violence. I'm gonna go out on a limb here. You ain't going to go with me. And some of y'all may remember this. But during the pandemic, like we've always had, Detroit's always had this violence. Detroit had, but things have kind of got a little perverse and ticked up. Things you talk about. I wonder, because I'm very much about spirits and things in here. Do you remember during the pandemic, there's a group of people talking about we want to put a Baphomet statue up proudly so we can praise the Baphomet statue. We want to put it out in public.
I remember.
And it was like, no, you got to get that out of here. Yeah, you got to get that.
I remember that. They was rallying to have that.
Now, we've always had issues, but things, to me, as I'm saying, it's a conjecture, it's going out on a limb. It seemed things started getting really weird and really perverse. And after that statue, because it's up somewhere in this city. They put it up. They could not put it, but that group had somewhere where they can worship this statue.
I remember something like that.
Well, it used to
I'm thinking you're inviting just obviously you're inviting demonic spirits.
They used to do it at the cemetery.
No,
the one on Grand River and
Telegraph. That big one, get out of here.
Matter of fact, they used to have. I worked homicide. Matter of fact, I retired from homicide. They used to have sacrifices in there.
No.
Oh yeah. People used to call in on it, but we couldn't do nothing about it until they killed somebody. That's the only bad thing about it. Yeah.
Nothing new is under the sun.
If you was out in the
that's next level.
What do you think about this here?
Old expression say you keep living, you're gonna see things you never saw before.
What do you think about this here veteran? What you think about this here veteran black guy that was in the army and Trump? They was gonna name this here war aircraft after the black volunteer that saved a lot of people's lives. They was gonna put his name on this carrier. And now Trump say you don't want his name on, he would put his name on there.
And well, that don't surprise me.
Yeah, we know what time that is. We know that a person who
Anything.
who would probably mess himself in a war, in a fight or flight situation. And of course we know what that is. You can't, you don't want to give the just due to a brother that's justly due.
Absolutely.
Well, anyway, these here guys out here in the street, they very well organized. The main thing have to do, I remember in the...
Sorry, let me ask you this question. I know you retired from homicide. Did you see this coming? Where is that on a level that it's in now?
It's been going all the time.
But not this violent. Not where you have... Now you have, I mean, you probably always had like issues between parents.
When it comes down to the youth.
Yeah, with the youth, have you seen it? But
see, the thing of it is, they don't really care. They got in their mind, because if they go to juvenile, they only be in there for 2 days, unless they kill somebody.
Yeah, I got
you. They back out on the street.
But is it now? Okay, so let's get back to let's take it past that, because we can point. You give blame where blame is due. However, they didn't create the world they were brought into. They had no choice in how they were born and where they were born, who they were born to, right? So where do we come in to that? You know what I'm saying? Like they are only stimulated by the environment that we put them in and the lack of resources that they have. Now, we know when we were in school in the 90s, there were supplemental educational programs out the wazoo. You can go wherever, from the Boys and Girls Club to a CYO church youth organization or whatever. There was something, neighborhood parks and recreation. It was a badge of honor, whether you were male or female, in the summertime, to have your colored neighborhood parks recreation shirt on, because that means you're in somebody's rec center playing ball, playing volleyball, swimming, crabs, something. You know what I'm saying? And then I know, like I said, I worked for, in the 90s, I worked for the Children's Defense Fund for the Ella Baker. You know who Ella Baker is? Worked for the Ella Baker Freedom Schools, right? And when we were big on youth literacy and whatnot, but one of the things that we were advocating against in DC, because I was part of it, was activism, was this law called S10. S10 was probably called something else now, but it was a law they had passed saying that they can lock juveniles up with, in prisons with adult offenders, right?
Charge them as adults.
Yes. And at the same time, what came with that, to fund that, they took all the money from, a lot of money, a good operational part of the money budget, from after school programs that were either summer based or based from 3 to like 8 p.m. at night, whatever. So any programs from that, they took them away. And so now you saw this spike in juvenile incarceration amongst Black and brown people, mostly boys. And so now, 30 years later, it seems like you have this, it was like a petri dish for to set the situation up. Like now you have kids with nowhere to go. And so now they having these teen takeovers because they have to congregate somehow. Human interaction is what we all need. So it's like we can point the finger at them, like the saying, we got 3 pointing back at us. Like, so how do we get back to that? Like I say, you got Mayor Sheffield
kudos
attempted, but that's one person and one conduit. And while it's that's a tip of the spear for the city, we all have to buy in. You know what I'm saying? It's not just their problem. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of youth who are on the fringe, who haven't picked up any guns, anything yet, but they're on the fringe.
More so than those.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Good morning, sister. Yep.
Yeah, I'm listening to this conversation, and I'm a 1950 baby. And, when we look back at our history, we had in junior high school, middle school, we had skilled trades. So therefore, even if you did not graduate from high school, you could take care of yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
And you had a mentality because of grandparents, great grandparents, you weren't going to live with your mom and daddy. you knew at the age of 11 and 12, you had to prepare for your future. And at 14, 15, you knew you were going to be leaving the house. And then we had neighborhood churches. I live in a neighborhood, Russell Woods. I've been there almost 30 years. My neighborhood church has never been to my door doing evangelism. Never. So that's another thing. Everybody's not where I am, but Jesus is a part of my life. I'm extremely, extremely involved. I'm driving down the street. I see somebody who perhaps may be homeless. I'll turn my car around. I make sure I have gloves and socks and other things and food in my car and money and a track. So we're not doing our duty because we're afraid. We're only going to live one life.
That's an issue.
We're only going to live one life. So as long as you with the man and with the one who caused you, then you're going to be okay.
We got to pause you. Unfortunately, we get ready to take a commercial break. We ask that if you would like to join in this conversation, dial in 313-340-9507. That's 313-340-9507. Dial in, tune in. Or if you want to listen to the radio, tune in with 101.5 or 1500 AM. We will see you on the other side of the commercial.
You've been listening to
Here's the wake-up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth be told. The wake-up call.
It's the final Wednesday Jazzy night of the 2026 season at the Aretha Franklin Amphitheater. And live, it's Hiroshima. With special guest, Naturally 7. Tickets for the final show of the season on sale now. Available at Ticketmaster.com in the Aretha box office. Presented by Chase.
Hello, I'm Reverend Horace Sheffield. My friend Dr. John Lippman has spent the last 30 years helping women suffering from fibroids. I've seen his passion for this work firsthand at his center in Atlanta. Now, Dr. Lippman and Dr. Philip Adler are bringing that mission to Detroit through EMOJ Fibroid Centers offering uterine fibroid embolization, or UFE, a proven non-surgical option to treat fibroids. Call 248-793-5249 or visit emojfibroidcenters.com to learn more.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your man Mike Epps, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Sheffield. Make sure you get yours.
I'm Hester Wheeler, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 AM. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
This is Super Bowl champion Lomas Brown, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield, my man.
This is Groveland, Kansas, and I get my wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 AM. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
It's the final Wednesday Jazzy night of the 2026 season at the Aretha Franklin Amphitheater. And live, it's Hiroshima. With special guest, Naturally 7. Tickets for the final show of the season on sale now. Available at Ticketmaster.com in the Aretha box office. Presented by Chase.
This is Super Bowl champion Lomas Brown, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield, my man.
This is Groveland, Kansas, and I get my wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 AM. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
You've been listening to
Move my Hey, 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 here's the wake up call.
Yep,
We're back. Once again, dial in 313-340-9507. That's 313-340-9507. Or you can follow us on the radio, FM 101.5 or 1500 AM. That's 101.5 or 1500 AM. We're continuing our conversation that is centered upon our returning back to school. We almost there. We just had some interesting dialogue as it relate to the summer. Unfortunately, winding down.
Yeah.
I would like for it to be extended once again because of the weather, but we are in Michigan.
Yes.
And we talked about it. But Brian, let's jump into the other side of it. We returning back to our students, our scholars, our future leaders. They returning back to school on Monday.
Yes, for sure. And,
on Monday.
The sister brought up a good point. We're thinking about how we're going to educate our folks for the future. Now that the violence is one thing.
Yeah.
I think we need parents. This is where I say what it falls on us to get more involved with what's being offered, what's not being offered. Maybe have you seen the young lady on social media that's been going off on DPS?
I know I haven't to answer your question, but I've been hearing about it.
And
I just said yesterday that I was going to do some research on that, but I'm hearing something about it.
And she makes a lot of
because they're saying it's some validity in what she's saying. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, it's some validity in what she's saying. There's some stuff that's be maybe a little bit out there, but
okay.
But yeah, one of the things she's saying is we have a superintendent that makes $500,000 a year, but we don't have full supplemental programs. We don't Detroit Public School District doesn't teach to the multiple learning styles, which has been proven that is how you reach every person. Like every person doesn't learn the same.
Right.
The sister was talking about vocational programs. When we went there were a host of vocational programs, whether you wanted, like say, to be a cosmetologist, you wanted to
all these different trades.
Yeah, you wanted to be a mechanic, you wanted to be a construction worker, you wanted to be in food service, all things right now that have extreme validity. You see you see nothing but construction in whatever freeway you go on, or it's always a detour.
That's it. I was just coaching basketball over summer. I was just telling the youth, one of the most promising fields and dominating fields that is promising. Just look around. It's construction.
It's anything that you.
It's anything, but you can do by your hands. I was just telling them.
So when I leave here, I gotta go. I got a car. I was trying to see if I can resurrect and maybe give it to my mom or somebody else like that. It's a 08 Fusion, and only to find out that the CPU is gone. But I had to get the brakes done, so I can the car can be driving to see what was going on. Bro, that was $1,100 for a brake job on a bucket.
Brakes on a Fusion
on a bucket, and so I'm like, geez, Louise, I know. Parson went up.
Good money, right? Absolutely.
Good.
Just
absolutely point. Good money.
I got what you're saying.
And if you talk to most youth, they're not trying to touch no cars. But that's like if you know how to the way cars are going out. If you have these skills, you can really do well.
Automotive industry
make more money than you would in the streets.
Absolutely,
and way
much safer.
But it's not pushed to us. Instead of it's being proselytized to us that our kids got to be gangsters and thugs.
Yeah.
And how many hats you got.
That's the narrative.
You know what I'm saying? And you can't read on grade level. So, my prayers up to all the educators who are courageous and going into these schools and, knowing in some situations you have an uphill battle to fight. But I think that's where I will hope that we start to get as a community start to become more aggressive about is the education of our children, because
that's another point that I want to raise. Brian. Let me ask you this.
Let me say this. Let me say this, because here's what I do know. Here's what if anybody's listening, listen to this. I went to Redford, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
I got a scholarship my last 2 years to go out to Cranbrook.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I was top 3 in my class. I beat out the valedictorian for an English Department National Honor Society Award, right? I was focused. I got out to the brook, took a placement test, and was lost.
Oh, wow.
11th grade, I had to take all 10th grade classes. My ego was shot. I got almost a 4.0. It took an English teacher named Eric Linder to sit me down because I was hurt. I was angry every day in class, like, why I'm in a class with 10th graders? I just could not understand it. Mr. Linder sat me down and showed me the curriculum of a school like Cranbrook, K through 12.
Same grade band.
And now it's an independent school, so you can do it.
Yeah.
But he said it mirrors a lot of suburban schools that are high caliber too, right? They'll mirror Cranbrook. From kindergarten to 12th grade, those students are exposed to curriculum 2 years advanced than DPS. So I don't care if you're the bee's knees at King, Renaissance, or Cass. Whatever you learned was 2 years behind. So think about it now. If it's 2 years behind
and
now,
that was in the 90s.
That was in the 90s. And you think about it now where our students are not reading on par. They never say where they're coming from. They're just saying our students not reading on par.
Right.
How much further has,
I see where you're going.
2 years on paper,
And
but
here it
really
is,
how far is that gap?
25 years later.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, so
I hear what you're
on
saying.
the paper, but
so where is that? I
you
get
understand
what
I'm saying? So we're our battle is much more. It's finding it's I think it starts here, not with the kids first, but top down or bottom up, top down. I don't really want to look at it, but it starts with centers like that.
Right.
The places where the young folks are supposed to go to be inspired and learning. Like, I pray that over these next few years that is really examined about how our kids are educated, that the people in Lansing who decide on what the curriculum be, the state school board, their feet are held to the fire as to why are these kids not being exposed to, because perhaps that's part of the issue. These kids aren't dumb. And like, as far as socialization, they may not be as book learned, but they are very socially astute, and they know when what they're learning is not effective for them. This whole, remember a couple years ago they talking about this whole new math. I
remember that. Yeah,
they don't do that in these private schools. It's been the same way we have been learning.
Right.
Why are our kids being
Still
educated different? You know what I'm saying? Stigmatizing, and because they can feel it, whether they're not able to express it, they can feel that the lack of, what I'm saying? And so, while I'm sitting here offering out the problems and complaining, I don't know what the solution is, but I definitely can see and have experienced what the problems may be.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Because an inspired mind ain't really looking for their ops. They're not looking for no hat. I'm inspired. There's something that's got me going that speaks to who I am, speaks to my DNA, speaks to my soul. When you get into that kind of God type of mind frame, you're not thinking about nothing guttural.
Absolutely.
But when you take it away, maybe that's all that you have. I don't know, brother.
I think you own to something. It makes perfectly good sense. It goes back to a question that I want to ask your thoughts on it. I want to ask our radio listener thoughts on it. I want to ask those who are present with us your thoughts on it. And maybe there's no maybe. We're probably going to have this conversation after the commercial, because we get ready to take a commercial in about a minute and a half. But DPS has an incentivized program that they extended this year. The program is a attendance program where they're paying the students to attend school and paying them $100 a week or every other week. It extended. They had it last year. It started last year. I'm one that can testify it is real, because my daughter was ordering food And I'm like, where you getting this money from? She said, I got a deposit from the school every other week, about $150. And she just ordering. Because I'm trying to teach her money management when I give her allowances. And I'm like, that ain't equating what you ordered, what I've been giving you. So she getting the suit. So the fast forward for this year, it's been extended to middle school to increase the rationale from what I'm hearing is that it's supposed to increase the attendance.
I mean, that's a step.
So I want to hear some of your thoughts on that. Because you're being paid to attend school.
I got.
For me, I understand about attendance because we need attendance. I understand all that, but the curriculum, I mean, because you could be in a school
and not heard or learn a thing.
So
can't even write his name.
So I want us to think about that. We getting ready. We getting ready to take a break. 313-340-9507. 313-340-9507, or tune in 101.5 or 1500 AM. We will see you on the other side of this commercial.
You've been listening to.
That's a good point. Because
Here's the wake up call.
It's the final Wednesday Jazzy night of the 2026 season at the Aretha Franklin Amphitheater. And live, it's Hiroshima. With special guest, Naturally 7. Tickets for the final show of the season on sale now. Available at Ticketmaster.com in the Aretha box office. Presented by Chase.
Hello, I'm Reverend Horace Sheffield. My friend Dr. John Lippman has spent the last 30 years helping women suffering from fibroids. I've seen his passion for this work firsthand at his center in Atlanta. Now, Dr. Lippman and Dr. Philip Adler are bringing that mission to Detroit through Emerge Fibroid Centers offering uterine fibroid embolization, or UFE, a proven non-surgical option to treat fibroids. Call 248-793-5249 or visit EmergeFibroidCenters.com to learn more.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's your girl, Randy Rosario, comedian and TV host. I get my Saturday wake-up call with my guy, Reverend Horace Sheffield. Think about it. Good day.
I'm Sheriff Raphael Washington, Wayne County, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up every Saturday morning from Reverend Horace Sheffield, and you should too.
Every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 AM, the wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
This is Super Bowl champion Lomas Brown, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield, my man.
This is Grover, Kansas, and I get my wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 AM, the wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Hello, I'm Reverend Horace Sheffield. My friend Dr. John Lippman has spent the last 30 years helping women suffering from fibroids. I've seen his passion for this work firsthand at his center in Atlanta. Now, Dr. Lippman and Dr. Philip Adler are bringing that mission to Detroit through Emerge Fibroid Centers offering uterine fibroid embolization, or UFE, a proven non-surgical option to treat fibroids. Call 248-793-5249 or visit EmergeFibroidCenters.com to learn more.
It's the final Wednesday Jazzy night of the 2026 season at the Aretha Franklin Amphitheater. And live, it's Hiroshima. With special guest, Naturally 7. Tickets for the final show of the season on sale now. Available at Ticketmaster.com in the Aretha box office. Presented by Chase.
You've been listening to
Detroit, we're back. We got about 10 minutes. We want to continue on with this conversation that we were having. We have one that is with us. Chantel is with us.
Bro, before we get to Chantel, this is definitely what you're saying. So we were talking about this stipend they get for
Right.
attendance, right? I think it's cool that because you want kids in school, you don't want to like in your Chantel, you brought up a point, it may help them with transportations, getting back and forth to school.
I love that.
But
Transportation.
But let's cut it. Like, let's cut it. If we're trying, because you will get that if the kid is achieving, right? So to me, it seems like, and I'm just speaking on the pessimistic side, so educate me, correct me, whatever. I'm not above reproach. It seems like this stipend is, let me make sure, let me get it to you because I get $10,000 on you twice a year. You know what I'm saying?
Count
Like,
that.
or whatever. I get a certain amount of money you on October 3rd and in February. So I want to make sure that I can get that money on you on the back end because we pushing, everybody pushing for the October date. But I got to make sure I get money for you on the back end.
I gotta have that.
So we can have some funding. Now I even understand that because the school needs funding.
I understand that.
However, if we're going to do it, and if this is just to help the kids out in a holistic way, they get to school, they can have some food. Okay, that's one. But then two, I'm not opposed to paying anyone. I'm not. But what would probably best serve those kids if they got a stipend for improved grades? Not just if you're at a 3.5 and you go to a 4.0. But if you were at a 1.4
and you went up to a 2.5
or 2.7, you did a whole hell of a lot of work.
Or
and you should be, and you should be. And let me give you something for that to keep incentivize you to keep showing up and giving your best. If the money was that like I want to see improved grades, you got to be in school to improve your grades. You don't have to be in school to get an attendance award. I mean, you don't have to get good grades to have an attendance award. You just got to sit in class and endure it and wait for this $100. It's a different motivation. And you can't tell me if we can sit here and have these thoughts just like that. Those who are being paid and got doctor this and doctor that, and they ain't had that same kind of stuff. Come on, man.
That's what Chantel, you gonna hear. And I want to tie this in with this, Chantel. I want to tie this in with that. Behavior. I don't mind you having an incentivized program for behavior. So, little Johnny, if you was getting suspended last school year, every other week, you keep it straight for so many weeks. We wanna incentivize that. That's just my thought. Chantel, can you help us out?
Hey y'all, Chantel Watkins, a deep friend of the show. So Michigan is number 47 in the country when it comes to public education. And it's literally by design. So a lot of the things that we see are like a Band-Aid for an amputated arm. They're not addressing the actual problem that's going on, and it's within the curriculum. So they rather give children money to attend where they're not getting the education that they deserve versus changing the curriculums and really bringing the children up to par. There are many things that they can actually do, but as it was just as easy for all of us who are not on a school board to come up with a solution that made more sense, we know that they could too, but by design they are not.
Yeah, that's criminal. That's criminal.
That's malpractice. That's what they call it.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I feel that's malpractice.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Rosalind
Hey,
Jackson
Rosalind.
here.
Hey, Sister Jackson.
I would like to say, just like you were shocked that your child was getting that money, that was news to me when you said it. Because back in my day, you couldn't stop me from going to school. I was eager to go to school. Nobody had to pay me to go to school. I look forward to it. We had all kinds of everything. We had art. We had all kinds of classes that we changed to. We had auditorium where they taught us how to work these audio visual things. And we did those scripts, you know. It was a wonderful place to be.
Right.
Now they got to pay people to go to school.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe my
offer
daughter.
none of that stuff that you talk about. You got to go to a specialized school to do any of the stuff you just talked about.
Yeah, because we had shop, we had econ. Look, we even had cooking classes. We had everything.
Don't quote me on
that
this,
was
but
part of the
but
curriculum.
I think it's something like this was what my daughter was getting last school year. I think it was like $75 a week. It equated to almost like $350 a month.
Wow.
For so this was just for high schoolers. Now the program has extended to middle school. That was an announcement that was just made about sometime last week.
And sometimes the conversations eventually going to have to be had. Like that's
And my
good.
thing is,
thank you for finding money
and my
to
thing,
help the young people out.
My thing is, and I appreciate and I love our mayor with the stamp of approval with the free bus rides. Kudos to that. I love that. I mean, come on, that's hands down for me. But my thing is that what about little Johnny? How you gonna? I mean, you want him in school, but let's give him an incentive because his behavior has changed. Little Johnny used to get kicked out every week.
Yeah. How and to be honest,
You got something for him?
how are we going to have a contributing tax?
Because there's a
base?
whole lot of little Johnnies.
Yeah, but you know, if you think when you
And little Vanessas too, right?
you educate these people, right, so they can be positive contributors to society, right?
Yes.
So how are they going to contribute if they don't have the job skills? And I'm not saying they all don't. And I'm not saying that folks won't find places. But if we're talking about this extreme uphill battle, and we have, you know, the literacy rate is down because folks are not reading on grade level.
And we know this.
And the world is just turning faster. How are we creating, you know,
that's my
contributing
thing, Brian.
citizens to, you know, like it's way more questions than answers and frustration. But yeah, I think a lot of this, I think if we started there, a lot of the stuff that we started our show with, it wouldn't be asked, because you're always going to have folks who are against the grain. You're going to always have folks who, you know, who are violent, who are ready to get at it, you know, but this rampantness may not be there if we, you know, we're like I said, we're inspiring the young people while they're in school. We're getting back to, and then we don't have, I don't have a problem saying it, we don't have a federal administration that would support that. But, you know, programs where kids can go 3 to 5 to do whatever it is that they're, you know, that's in their interest. You know, we don't have those things anymore. And that is where we need to get back to. It's very simple to say, you know, unfortunately, we don't have an administration nationally that supports that. But that's just what it is. You know, and at some point, maybe we should start figuring out the who's, you know, who is it that is the state superintendent? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, who is that? There is a person who's on that.
Absolutely.
How do you get on that school board? And do we have all the talented people that come through here that we already know? Who is it that we can push to be on? Like we're pushing people in all these other positions, you know, throughout the state. We need to push people who have interest in urban education and the betterment of urban education. Someone is on that state school board, and those who are there, their feet to be held to the fire, because there is no reason other than, because I will say this, when I went to Redford, like I said, I was number 3 in my class, but there were kids who were just as, if not smarter than, you know what I'm saying? That I know would have done well. I know would have done better than me. There were kids when I went out there at Cranbrook. I love y'all. Dumb as a box of rocks. But it's just true. But they had the money. So you can't tell me it's about this too. It's just what you expose that kid to. You know what I'm saying? It's just what you expose that kid to. You know. And so, like Chantel, you were saying, it's to me, it's criminal, because you know this. And you say this is what they can. No,
that's my thing. That's my thing. I just want to, you know, I want to see better for us. And if we sitting at the table making the decisions, it's so obvious that the funds are there for our community to be better, because the resources are there. I mean, when you're talking about extending it to middle school, that lets you know there's resources are there. The financial resources are there. But why couldn't that be allocated towards what you was talking about? That's what I want to see. How can we curtail little Johnny and little Vanessa behavior for he or she keep getting suspended? Can we do a incentivized program for them? I understand that it's going to help the community out, and more so it's going to help some of the families. I understand that. My heart goes out to that too. But I just feel like, in a sense, it's like educational malpractice. I believe that money can be utilized and allocated in a different way. I know we got probably about a minute left. I just want to say this. We always close out. I can't help but to close out since I am a pastor. I can't help but to close out and say this. God is the same God yesterday, today, and forever.
Yeah.
What he did before, he's capable enough to do it again. All of our concerns, all of our questions, we may not have answers for them, but my God is the same God yesterday, today, and forever. Don't stop praying. Don't stop getting up after you pray, and let's do something. Bible said, faith without works
It's dead.
is dead.
That's exactly what I was
Let's
going.
do
So,
something.
Philly, we talk.
Let's
get
do
moving.
something. Let's get moving, and we will see you next month.
It'll be fall.
It'll be
it'll be fall. Oh my gosh. It'll be fall.
preferably it'd be a peaceful Labor Day and everything.
Yeah, have a good Labor Day, Detroit.
You've been listening to
Hey, 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 here's the wake up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth be.